Hi everyone, it's Maggie, and I'm here with my design team project, the last one for the month of May, and it is a small doily mini, and this is the front cover, and I'll try to show you and explain as much as I can as I show you the doily mini. I used 4-inch doilies, and those were from my stash, and I used, I think it's 2 doilies on each page just to, give it some strength and some thickness. So on the cover, I used one of the rosettes, the rose-colored rosettes, and under that I used some of the pink tulle, which comes like this by the yard. So I used that under the rosette, and I also took some of this trim here. I cut a little square off, and then I fussy cut some of the flowers out, and I put a flower and leaf vine here, and then one here. And over on the side here is one of the butterflies from the butterfly trim here. And I just cut one out. And I added one of my clay flowers from my stash. Let's see, I added two pieces of of the laces for the bottom, and that's what gives this fullness here, is adding just a couple of laces on each page, and it adds up to making it really full. I forgot to mention that on the side here I put one of those acrylic roses, and on this on top of it I put one of these medallions, these white medallions, and they're so pretty. Let me get those out of the way, and one of the cameos. So other than the doilies and the clay flower, everything is from the store. And then this is the trim on top, this here. And what I did to this trim is I took the flowers off of this trim. I cut a couple of individual flowers, and I put those on either side here and either side there. And then let's see, for the bottom pieces here, I cut out these individual little flowers, and then I put a 2mm rhinestone cup chain piece in the middle of each one. And I think this here is the 2mm. It's really, really tiny, and I love using it. So that's the top, and underneath I added this, a piece of let's see, is it this trim? Let me check. I actually added more than 2. Yeah, underneath that is this trim here. And then what I did to that, I took this trim here, this, like, I call it a daisy trim, and I cut off 2 flowers for each strip, and I put it on top. I glued it on top, and then I added my tiny green and pink clay flowers to those. So those hang like that. And then underneath that is, let's see, this trim here. And there's only one piece left of it. But this trim here is under that, and then under that is the leaf trim, and I don't have any of that left. And the leaf trim, and then Okay, that's going to be on the next page, so I won't show you that. So yeah, that's the front cover. To hold the doilies together, I just used some white seam binding, and I added one of Amy's little metal keys. So that holds it together, and I just tied a bow. And then let me show you the back cover. For the back cover, I kept it really simple, but I used this piece here, and actually what I did was I cut it across, so it looks like this. This piece here. Whoops, and I'm not down far enough, sorry. This piece here. And then I added another one of those medallions, another cameo, and a little rose in the middle of this like daisy piece here. And that's all I did to the back. I wanted to keep the back flat and simple. So then, let me move that aside. So the first two pages, okay, for the first page is one of these, and I just cut out the middle to make it a frame. And then I added clay flowers. These are, I don't know if you can tell, but these here are little like daisy flowers, so I added a clay flower to the middle. And then I always forget what this trim is called, but the trims on this page I green tea dyed, and so I added one of these flower dangles, and then a larger clay flower in the middle of that. And then underneath, this is this trim here. And I use these trims on all the pages. But see, right here, it's tea dyed. And then underneath that is the leaf trim, which is also tea dyed. And then this is the pocket page, and here's the pocket. And I use this trim here for the pocket. I love this. It's beautiful. It's like a polka dot on tulle, and it's so soft. So I use this for the pocket. Here's, you know, from this again, I added the middle of it has 3 little rosettes, and the ones on the side just have the one. So I added another medallion, and then the 3 little rosettes. I added this pink trim here, the daisy trim. I added that around, and then I added my green and pink clay flowers to the middle. Here's a smaller doily that I added in the middle just to give it a little more strength. And then here's that same trim again from the front cover. I added, you know, from this trim here, I added one here, one there. I added a larger clay flower in the middle, and then underneath that is the leaf trim in white. And that's what I did to that page. And then here's the last 2 pages. And again, I used one of these for the image, just cutting out the netting in the middle. Some white and pink clay flowers this time. Here's another one of those appliques off of this wide pink trim. I used another medallion with a acrylic flower here. I added acrylic hearts to either end. Here's that trim again. Here's that trim again. And also, just quickly, this project also is to show you that you don't have to have a lot to do something like this. I used, I want to say 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 different trims, and just either tea dyeing some, leaving some white. I was able to use them over and over, and if you you know, place them a little differently, do something a little different, then you can't, sometimes you don't even know that it's the same trim. So, yeah, so these you could call snippets. If you have snippets, you can use those. I actually, cut these to use for the doily book, but I'm sure if you've used any trims or laces at all, hopefully you keep your little snippets here, and you can use those on the little doily albums because they don't take much. So this here is the flower. I call it the flower page, and I made this flower just doing a running stitch, and it is from a curtain, and then underneath that is a medallion from my stash that was also from a different curtain. And the butterfly is from Shabby Chic Boutique, and the rhinestones, the cup chain is the larger cup chain. I think this is 4 millimeters, and this is from Amy's store also. And then this applique is from my stash, but this beautiful little piece, I love these. They're my favorite. This is from the store also. And then underneath you have this trim again, but on either side I added those embroidered flowers, and here's that trim again underneath that. And then there's the leaf trim. So that is that page, and I've showed you the back. So yeah, so I mean, I probably didn't even use a full yard of trims. I used several little pieces off of each cup chain, some, I think like 3 of these medallions, 2 of the cameos, 1 of the rosette, and a little bit of this trim, probably about 6 inches long, and half of this piece here, the wide lace. And so, whoops, my fingernail was caught. So yeah, so you don't have to put a ton of things on your doily minis if you don't have it or you don't want to. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes, more is just more, and sometimes more is awesome. But anyways, yeah, and this goes out to Sue. Hi, Sue Marinello. My last doily mini album, which was a lot bigger and it was a lot more involved. It's for my giveaway. She said in her comment, that she didn't have a lot of trims. And so I wanted to show Sue that you don't need a lot in order to make something. So, okay, that's the end of my video. So if you'd like, leave a comment, let me know what you think. And I hope you like this project because I think it's kind of adorable. Okay, good night, everyone, and I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.